right, we're going to get this press conference started. First of all, thank you, everybody, for coming today, and special thanks to Ramiro for hosting this here at his wonderful restaurant. Thank you very much. The reason that we're here today is to announce that next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Louisville Bats, along with Intech Building Services, will be presenting the Copa de la Division at Louisville Slugger Field. During this weekend series of 3 games versus the Columbus Clippers, the Bats will recognize and celebrate our city's Latin American population and culture. And just like our city, the Bats roster is also a very diverse group. Currently, of the 45 players that have played this year for the Bats, 15 of them are from Latin countries, including the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Cuba, Colombia, and Puerto Rico. And also recently in past years, here we go, the Bats have also had players represented from Mexico, Aruba, and Nicaragua. So next weekend, to honor the city's diverse Hispanic population, the Bats will take the field and play those 3 days as Los Murciélagos de Louisville. Besides these attractive jerseys that our players will be wearing, the players and coaches will also be wearing these wonderful hats, which, by the way, are also available in our team store and also online. And also during the 3-day weekend, marketing, branding, and in-stadium promotions will also reflect the Los Murciélagos brand. Over the course of the weekend, some of the fun promotions that our fans will see and experience in the ballpark will include the appearance both Friday and Saturday night by Raices Folklore Dance Group. We're also going to have a poster giveaway featuring our Latin players on the Bats. We'll have a fantastic fireworks show on Friday night. Saturday, we're going to open the doors early at 4:30 in the afternoon. Part of that afternoon will consist of a clinic on the field for kids 12 and under with the Bats players. All they need is a game ticket for that day's game. And also prior to the game, we'll be featuring the popular band Appalatin, who will be performing on the field right behind home plate, actually while the kids' clinic is going on. So we'd like to thank Norton's Children's Hospital for providing sponsorship for the clinic. And also, we're going to be giving away, as fans come into the gates, to the first 2,000 fans on Saturday night, the Eugenio Suarez bobblehead. Eugenio is a popular Louisville Bats player who is now a all-star for the Cincinnati Reds. And as you can see, one of his habits that he was known for as he stood around third base was blowing bubbles. This is going to be provided by our friends over at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. As we wrap up the 3-day weekend on Sunday with an afternoon game at 2 o'clock, that game will feature a free kids meal, free inflatables for the kids to play on inside in the air-conditioned Hall of Fame Pavilion. Kids run the bases, and are also going to invite all the families and their children to come down the field after the game Sunday afternoon and have a game of catch in the outfield. And we're even going to provide the soft baseballs for them to play with, and they can actually take them home. Thanks again to our friends over at PNC Bank. Plus, all 3 days, we're going to feature $3 margaritas and street tacos from our friend Ramiro, who will be there with his wonderful food, selling it down the first baseline. So as you can see, we have a full weekend of giveaways, great entertainment, along with food and drink specials for our fans to enjoy. And in honor of this season-long celebration that we're currently in with the Louisville Bats as we celebrate our 20th season at Louisville Slugger Field, beginning tomorrow morning, going through Sunday, we're offering a special $5 ticket for any Bats game for the remainder of the season. This includes the Copa weekend if fans want to take advantage of it, which we hope they will. All you have to do is go to the Bats website. On the front page of our website, there's a flash sale banner. Just click that. It'll take you to the landing page and give you the opportunity to buy your tickets for any of the Bats' remaining games for only $5. At this time, I'd like to recognize a person who knows that Louisville is a very compassionate, welcoming, and diverse community, and nobody knows that more than our next speaker. It's my honor at this time to welcome to the podium Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher.
Thank you, Greg, and bienvenidos a todos. Welcome, everybody. Let's put this up here so we can get a little more marketing for the program here. Does that work all right? Okay, we want to sell your merchandise.
Appreciate you selling
Okay, very good. Well, first, congrats to the Bats on 20 years. And then also, let's send our well wishes to Boston. So Big Papi David Ortiz continues his speedy recovery. We certainly want to see him back and healthy. So thank you, everybody, for coming here, to Greg and the entire leadership team at the Louisville Bats. They're great partners for our city. The regeneration of our downtown is certainly underway, and it started many years ago with the Slugger Field and what the Bats brought to us, and just a beautiful adaptive reuse of the old Brindley Hardy building downtown. And hopefully with the passing of a budget here in a couple days, that we'll be seeing continued capital investment in Slugger Field that the whole city will be able to enjoy. So let's talk about this event here. This event is just right for our city. We love sports. We're obviously the home of Louisville Slugger here in Louisville. And then we're also a compassionate city, a global city, and a welcoming city, officially a welcoming city. We became a certified welcoming city in 2018, thanks to the work of Brian Warren, standing over here, a director for our Office of Globalization, does a wonderful job for our city. So Brian, thank you very much. We were the second city in the world to achieve that status, so it's something that we're proud of here and continue to work on. We created the Office for Globalization in our city specifically to help Louisvillians from other countries live a great life here and join our community so their human potential could flourish, and then we could market our city to the world as well. It's really important, I believe, for our city to be a global city where our kids are growing up in a city that looks like the world so they can operate anywhere in the world. I want to quote the great late Roberto Clemente. He, of course, was one of the all-time great baseball players, a famous Puerto Rican, Ricky Santiago, thank you very much, and a wonderful humanitarian. And he said, cada vez que tiene la oportunidad de hacer una diferencia en este mundo y no lo haces, entonces estás perdiendo el tiempo en la tierra. So Roberto Clemente would have been right at home here in our city, as he said, anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world and you don't, then you're wasting your time on earth. So Roberto and the all-time famous Louisvillian Muhammad Ali had a lot in common with the way that they looked at the world. And one of the exciting things happening in our community right now is the outstanding growth that we're seeing in our Hispanic and our foreign-born communities. There's almost 60,000 Latinos living in the Louisville area right now. The Hispanic population has increased 17% since 2010. So Hispanics now represent nearly 5% of our total population. 2.5% of all businesses employ almost 6,000 people and represent almost $1 billion in sales and receipts in our community. The Hispanic community is obviously very diverse as well, with the 5 largest communities with heritages from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, and Colombia. So the Latin community is very important to the future, to the present of our city and to the future of our city as well. And whenever I have an opportunity to speak to primarily Latin crowds, I ask them, please move your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles to our city as well so we continue the growth of our great city. One thing that we see that brings people together is sports, and especially in America is a love of baseball. And that's what makes this game so special and what will make next weekend so special. It will be fun for the entire family. Será divertido para toda la familia. It'll be fun for the whole family. So I want to thank J.C. Venegas and Intech Building Services, Edith Girding and the great team of Prospanica, and Edgardo Manzilla of Americana Community Center for all the wonderful things that you do for our city. And I want to again thank everybody for the work you do to support Hispanic and Latino Louisvillians and to create the event to help bring our community even closer together. More important than ever that we all show support for each other. So I encourage everybody to come out and have a great night at the ballpark and support Los Murciélagos. And I say, a la bola, play ball. Thank you, everybody.
At this time, I'd like to bring to the podium J.C. Venegas. He's president of Intech Building Services. They are the presenting sponsor of the Copa Weekend Celebration at Louisville Slugger Field. J.C.
Hello. Thank you all so much for coming out today. My name is J.C. Venegas. I'm the president of Intech Building Services. Our company is extremely proud to partner with the Louisville Bats for the Copa de la Diversión. This weekend of baseball is an incredible opportunity for the community to learn about our Hispanic culture and the Hispanic culture to feel more connected to the city. When my parents moved from Colombia 42 years ago, they immediately felt welcomed and at home here in Louisville. It was that feeling of inclusion that made it possible for them to start our janitorial services company 36 years ago. After 36 years in business, we are still thriving here in Louisville and only see more possibilities as the city grows. Our family and more than 300 employees are very excited to come out next weekend and cheer on Los Murciélagos. Next week, we encourage the entire community to come out and cheer them on against the Clippers. Events like the Copa de la Diversión are a great way to promote more inclusion and integration between our two cultures. We also welcome anyone who wants to learn about our company or apply with us to come visit us at our booth. Thank you.
Our next guest is the president of the Louisville chapter of Hispanica, the Association of Hispanic Professionals. Please welcome Edith Girding.
Hello. Hispanica is actually a national organization. It's a national association of Hispanic professionals. We've been around for about 30 years, and we have about 42 chapters throughout the country, including Puerto Rico. Those are all professional chapters, and we also have some university chapters. Our mission and vision, our mission is to empower and enable Hispanic professionals to reach their full potential when it comes to economic, educational, and our social potential. So we started our chapter here in Louisville, so the Louisville chapters that serves Louisville, Metro Louisville, Southern Indiana, and entire Kentucky, about 8 years ago, and that was in response to the great growth that we have in not only the Hispanic community, but the Hispanic professional community. Many of us grew up here, and we know Louisville is a great place to raise a family because many of us were raised here, educated here, and started our career here. A lot of us have also been relocated here because it's such a welcoming city. So sports, like it's been said before, it's very important. Baseball is very important to the Hispanic community as well. And one of the biggest values for us is our family. So what a great way to marry those two things together, to go see Los Murciélagos at La Copa de Diversión next weekend. So we will be on Friday, with a table, so you can join us, our membership, and our entire board, learn more about Hispanica, and of course, enjoy a great game.
Last but certainly not least, our final speaker today is the Executive Director of the Americano World Community. Please welcome Edgardo Mancilla.
Es un honor hablar en castellano en una conferencia de prensa en Louisville, Kentucky. It's an honor to speak in Spanish in a press conference in Louisville. By the way, Louisville, not Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky. Americana Community Center es un community center in the south of the city. We serve people over 100 countries, mostly for Africa and Latin America. We serve people from the United States. Puerto Ricans, you are welcome to the country. And what we're trying to do is very simple. It's trying to build healthy families. We're trying to create a safe and supportive environment where each individual can develop their own potential. In this time of confusion, hate, disagreements, the fact that the murciélagos are inviting us to be together, to break down the separation among ethnic groups, to create a better society where it's not so much the color of your skin or your social class. By the way, the tickets for baseball are cheap. Yeah. I would say that the cheapest sport in the whole world. Families enjoy baseball because they can go together, they can spend time together, they can talk to each other, and they can enjoy the sport that they like. I have to confess, I am a football, the real football fan. Maradona, Messi, and all these things. But I started to learn about baseball here in town. When I moved 30 years ago almost, I didn't have a clue about baseball. Now I know. And this opportunity to bring families next coming weekend para la Copa de la Diversión es algo que no podemos pasar de alto. It's something that we cannot skip and miss. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you on Friday nights and probably Saturday. I don't know about Sunday, but I want to be there anyway. But also, I hope to see you with a spirit of involvement, engagement, recognition, appreciation, and support for all the 115,000 internationals who are in town. Because it's 1 every 7 or every 8 residents that we have the funny accent that you are listening from me today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Murciélagos Bats, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, before we wrap up, we have a couple of tokens we'd like to pass out. JC for being the presenting sponsor of next week's Copa weekend. We thought it was fitting that you be the recipient of a Murciélagos bat, courtesy of our friends over at Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory. And of course, our mayor. Please don't use it in any committee meetings. But thank you again for your continued support, not only of this event, but of Louisville Bats baseball all the years you have. We appreciate it. That is the end of our press conference. Thank you for coming today. Any questions?